come in to talk about your new novel, The Laughing Clowns. Now, the main character is Peter Kennedy, and he sort of lost touch with his wife and his kids.
Yeah.
Do you think this is something that's happening to people of, or men of Peter's generation?
I don't know, I think it can happen to anybody, but I think that it's interesting when somebody is very happy with their family and says to themselves they love them, how distant and separated from you can become. This is a guy who's plugged into every conceivable piece of technology. He's always on the go. There's nowhere in the world he can't reach, but he just drifts away from people. And I think the whole idea of that was just to say, people think things go forever. I mean, we never actually confront the idea of a finite life. It's scary. But accepting that idea isn't so bad, and it's not a fearful thing. I mean, you see it with your parents growing old, you see it with yourself growing old, but you don't see it in the outer world. You don't see it. This idea of old people aren't used to advertise much. That idea, you can look around the cinema. It's that sort of floating age from say late teens to late 30s. That's the age people like to see themselves as. And I think if you accept that life ends, the best way to share a life, to make it mean something, is to give yourself to other people. And that's what this guy's forgotten to do. And it's not a big, it sounds a bit romantic, but I think that's a pretty good way to go about your life.
Now, you also, at the start of the novel, you talk about it being in Pickersgill Peninsula,
yeah.
which is really based on Redcliffe, where you were born and lived as a kid.
Yeah.
So what did the people of Redcliffe think about the book?
Oh, it's all right. I mean, I didn't want to write. I was originally going to set it in Redcliffe because I really liked it. I mean, I wrote a book about playing cricket for cricket kids, and I basically wrote about where I lived in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And it actually meant a lot to people in the area, so I thought I'd like to do that for Redcliffe. But then I thought, oh well, hang on, no, I just create this place, which is a funny peninsula in Moreton Bay, and I'll make it a hyper Redcliffe. And so you can make things up and you can add things, and you can sort of put all sorts of people in it. And I like sort of taking some, my mates and giving them names in the character. So the guy who's the mayor, Eddie Hume, is a great mate of mine in Melbourne, and he's a lawyer, so he thought it was fun. Is he a cross-dresser? No, no, he thought that was very funny. He would, you must remember me from my uni days, William. Although he did get cleaned up by a guy in a grand final, but it wasn't in rugby league. It was he was playing for Goon, and he got belted sideways by a bloke called Bull O'Hare, who's now a mate of his. But he's got the video of it, and it was one of those guys who played in glasses, and it was right in front of goal. He got knocked the next week. And he got a free, and he was right in front of the goal, and he kicked it at a right angle, and all you could hear was, Wendy! He was just walking around like that, he's waving like that. He was on Mars. Great bloke. But I mean, well, what am I talking about now? But I mean, I just like telling stories, and I thought, it's fun to sort of create a place, and to add memories from where I grew up and add new things too. But I think it's always a device to create a little town, a little world, and people go into it, and then you can just tell a story. Because I think people like to know the universe they're working in. And this guy, Peter Kennedy, I mean, what I like about him as a character is that he actually comes to some understanding, not through some sort of great epiphany or sort of investigation. He just sort of stumbles across it. Because what he's doing is actually quite sly, and through this sort of his half-assed lying and him just being a bit of a bullhead, he actually realises something really important, which is just knowing everyone's got a time.
Yeah.
And the best way to make use of the time is to give yourself to other people.
Yep, absolutely. Now, what next? Is there going to be non-fiction, fiction? What's next in the?
Well, I think I'm going to write another novel. Good. But I don't know, see how this one goes. But I think that's the idea. Yeah. So I've sort of got that one lined up, and it's been pretty. But it's got a mini-series coming out next year in the ABC, and a documentary about bird watching, which which is like a buffet goes bird watching, which is pretty entertaining. I mean, you know. And then I go write the book. So the next book's a novel, I think. But then I've been asked by a certain public figure to consider writing a biography, but I don't know.
I hope you do.
Why?
Because I think you do it well and it'd be entertaining.
You don't know who the public figure is.
No, well, maybe they need a bit of entertainment, do they?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's sort of a bit. It's a very odd. No, I don't know.
Thanks for coming.